Hello, and welcome back to the Commerce Collective podcast. I am your host, Emma Irwin, and I'm coming at you live from unBoxed 2025 in Nashville. I've got a friend and true expert of this industry sitting here with me to help all of us understand more about what launched at unBoxed this year and what we at Flywheel think is truly exciting, all in just 20 minutes. So let's get right into it and meet our guest.
Thank you so much for having me, Emma. Longtime listener, first-time caller to the podcast. But I am Mike Feldman, SVP of Commerce here at Flywheel, as commerce is, I'd say, the most nebulous term in our industry. What does that mean at Flywheel? And at Flywheel, commerce is that beautiful integration between media and retail, which is what I love to nerd out about every day.
All right, it is your first unbox with Flywheel. I'm sure you've been to a bazillion unbox, but how has your event been so far? What's this year like versus other years? What's up? How's it been?
Oh man, it has been an incredible unboxed here in Nashville. We just wrapped up day 3, or technically day 2 for people, but I count the day 1 intro as a day because I was here and living it. But 3 great days in Nashville, nerding out about all things commerce, retail, media, Amazon, unboxed. It's been tons of people, lots of great energy, exciting announcements, and a little bit crazy at the Opryland Hotel where we had snow the day we came in, gondolas and lots of walking, but it's been an awesome time.
Yes, it was way colder than I expected it to be, and the riverboats threw me off a bit, and it seems like it should smell like cigarette smoke everywhere, but it doesn't. So I will accept a maze lacking cigarette smoke in the carpets. Beautiful. Okay, Amazon has laid out from unboxed, they kind of generally put all of their different product launches into different buckets of themes. And this year I'm going to nail it. It's full funnel enhanced by AI, personalization, and relevance. But I'm curious, of the conversations you've had with our clients and people that are actually really in the industry and probably combined with the different product launches, like what are the key themes that you're walking out of this event with?
Yeah, so I think if you're looking at the announcements, you see AI, AI, AI. That is not surprising at all. Like everyone to create the marketing buzz and what the market really is craving is a lot of AI announcements. I think those are sort of the sexier headlines, but to me, the sexiest announcement of it all is the unified platform. And I think if you're an agency, if you're a brand, and frankly, if you are Amazon's AI team, this is the critical and the most exciting update. And so for agencies and Flywheel, we are, the biggest spenders in retail media. And it is, even with Amazon, which is our, largest spend, it's been historically challenged because it's different platforms for sponsored product and DSP, different measurement. And then again, I mentioned this is great for everyone, not just agencies, brands, but also Amazon's AI team. Right now, Amazon talks about different things in those platforms in different words. And so you need better prompts to have better AI outcomes. And so there is the simplification and streamline of the platforms. It's going to be one language, and that's going to streamline a lot of things. So we're excited from an agency standpoint because, we have APIs everywhere. It's going to streamline and make the data so strong. And if you're a brand, operating in this space, it's going to give you significantly better metrics, measurement, and reporting. Like the promise and where we've seen in AMC is this full funnel path to conversion. And so unifying that platform and getting those really accountable metrics is going to be huge.
I just thought I was going to be so smart and do the leave into we all talk about full funnel, and sure, you're executing it, but if you can't see it really all happening in one place outside of AMC, then is it really full funnel? Have we really connected all the pieces of the funnel? And then I saw a note that was this is really simple, but financial reporting wise for everyone, this makes things so much easier, which is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it is the brilliant basics, but I think, again, it's the evolution in where everything has been going. We are diving into AMC at a ridiculous rate. And so I think the stronger the data and the connections, and then frankly, how to activate that in the platform in a seamless way is getting better and better, which then enables all the great AI stuff that we'll continue to hear all about.
For sure, for sure. I'm curious, do you have any, that one's the big one. Do you have any other product launches that are interesting to you? Maybe they're not as big and kind of momentous.
There were so many on the list. The TV ones were really exciting to me, especially as I'm a skate to where the puck is going kind of person. And if we look at what's going on in the retail media landscape currently, we are seeing so much about video at a really high level. And I'll talk about, not Amazon for a second, but like Walmart has made really big strides with Vizio and incorporating that into the mix. We have Amazon, where not only are they acquiring rights like Thursday Night Football and NBA, they're building out their content suite within FAST channels, but also striking really robust partnerships with Netflix, Roku, and others. And so video is king. And so we're seeing that where Amazon has leaned in from a full funnel lens and higher level of how are we incorporating things like, the broadcast buys and scatter buys into a holistic complete TV solution, down to sponsored product video, which is wild to me. That is one where I actually have asked around that's probably been the biggest question I have asked people. I'm like, what do you think sponsored product video actually looks like? And I think everyone has a different take. So my one request back has been a simple screenshot so I can conceptualize what sponsored product video will be.
They showed a screenshot on the product keynote, and it was like a search term, and then you only get to see the placement one sponsored product, and then there's a little video that takes up like a third of the screen and kind of, I guess, showcases the different features. So the screenshot they showed, it was really kind of interesting because it is really, you search and that one product gets the whole first kind of above the fold slot before you keep scrolling.
Yeah. And I'd say if you work for Amazon, you can earmuffs for a second. I would say my gripe would be that it looked too much like sponsored brand video in what they showed in the announcement. So that's where I'm like, okay, like give me the 101 version of
fair enough.
Show me all the where this is going to live.
Well, yeah. And then I was like thinking like of the sponsored brands collections and everything. And I was like, well, if that were to show up high, it kind of looks the same there too. I know it's video versus some more static images, but whenever it's in that placement, I just immediately am like sponsored brand and rolling from there. Were people at least excited for sponsored product videos as like a cool way to kind of further showcase the product?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a few things in conversations with brands is video obviously is performing really well. So sponsored brand video, if you look at some of the incrementality and more robust metrics, is actually one of the best things you can go do in Amazon. And I think in retail media, because we still have such a high percentage in retail search, discoverability can sometimes be hard. I think I heard a stat that like 20% of searches on Amazon include a brand, which then, if you think about discoverability and the way to like upsell other items in the portfolio, sight, sound, motion, and video is absolutely crushing. And so I think getting more of those placements across the board makes a ton of sense. And I see every brand I talk to is highly interested. I'll say on the other end too is great. We have all this opportunity for video. How do I go produce the thing? And so the AI creative agent for Amazon was probably one of the more interesting conversations I had with brands in the room, because it's like everyone gets why that makes sense. I use AI to create images in my LinkedIn posts. Like I think we've all sort of embraced AI creative, and obviously at Flywheel we do tons of that and like lots of iterations. But I think if you're a brand, there is, especially if you're a large brand, like your process and the way you operate as an organization is going to be the biggest barrier. It's not, hey, I want to go do all this creative stuff and I can't. It's my legal team takes a couple weeks to review this and we have to be super compliant. And so I'm particularly interested in how that gets adopted. One, like I think it makes all the sense in the world, like good creative and, produced at an efficient rate. And like, obviously that's a lack of depth and human element when you're doing tons of AI, but with things like sponsored product and sponsored brand video, you're getting really quick feedback loops tied to sales. And so learn from that, use that to create the brief and the really big, $1 million video shoot, like by all means, but like learn with AI and quick, rapid creative and then apply that into your bigger budgets. But I do think brands are going to need to get over, just like in creator affiliates as well as AI creative, like how can you loosen up a little bit of the control so that you can take advantage of the efficiency and the effectiveness of doing those kind of tactics.
For sure. And I definitely, like with Amazon, when I look at my own shopping behavior, I'm generally like, I want to see a video to see how the product functions, how big it actually looks compared to a real human, things like that. And I'm not looking for the highest level of brand kind of perfection when it comes to videos. And so I'm excited to see what comes out, but it's interesting debate that you see amongst the LinkedIn people of how it all looks like garbage. This is ruining us. Or the people that are like, no, this makes it so much easier to just attach a dang video to the page and show the people what they want.
I completely agree. And maybe I get that benefit of, sitting in an agency side. But, I used to work for a big CPG org and was in the machine of legal and in reviews. And really, again, I go back to retail media as the quickest feedback loops tied to sales. I would use the AI in a way to test and learn to improve how you're going to market with products. So things like, I want to look at these 5 different claims, these 5 different hooks, these 5 different product benefits. You can quickly spin that up in AI to 100 different creative versions. Go put that in sponsored brand video. Go put that in sponsored product video, because now we got that. Learn really quickly, and then you can use those winning combinations of this is the right insight, this is the right claim, this is the right hook, and then go push that into broader reach where, if you feel more comfortable doing the big polished production, by all means go for it. If you're feeling great about what your AI is producing, that's another option as well.
Got it. I would like to go back to Complete TV really quickly, just because I thought that was brand new because they made it kind of look brand new in the announcement, but I quickly realized that was dumb, and Complete TV has been around for a long time. But can you help people understand what is actually new? And I read your notes from the interview yesterday and just oh, maybe it's the element of linear TV data being incorporated. I kind of saw that in a breakout session, but she didn't say it like it was an announcement. I was like, okay, what is new with Complete TV?
Yeah. So I think the devil is in the details and everything, and that includes Complete TV. To my understanding, it is going to be helping brands incorporate all of their TV mix into it. And, there's been a reckoning in video in the marketing industry more broadly. Streaming has passed broadcast TV. There's also a lot more measurement providers and tech solutions in the industry to get a better read on it. I think Amazon is seeing a lot of those tea leaves and are setting themselves up to be a complete video solution to partners. And so that's not only, hey, we're going and, acquiring the content, we're working on the partnerships, but I think that measurement piece is so critical. The thing that actually gets me the most excited, because I'm a retail media nerd and commerce nerd at the end of the day, is the full funnel and path to conversion. But for, that's a subset of Amazon's advertisers. If you think about the non-endemics, the ones that are looking to push big brand activations, it's how do we get a better sense of their total business, and how do we incorporate Amazon in that? And that's with better measurement. And so incorporating the scatter buys, the broadcast TV buys into a total measurement solution to be able to optimize within your Amazon video.
Gotcha. Okay, 2 more products for you that I would love your takes on. Full funnel campaigns. This was that was Paul Kodis's big thing that he said on the stage, and how everything they've been working on leads to the launch of full funnel campaigns. What is your take on this? The first AI-powered campaign type through Amazon.
Yeah, I am very excited. And again, I mentioned sort of the unified platform then leads to better full funnel campaigns. And so, yeah, I agree with the take of everything they've been doing has been leading to this. I think about every innovation we've had, from looking at Amazon Marketing Cloud and the path to conversion, pushing more video through Amazon. Even I've been working with Amazon advertising for the last 12 or 13 years. And I remember in the very early days of Amazon DSP, it was we're okay with being a tier 2 DSP because, with the APIs and the data and where we're going, they were very confident. And so we've seen that play through, and Amazon continues to push things and frankly be right in what they're pushing. And so, full funnel is something that has been in the marketing industry for the last forever. And I think where it's fell apart is that there hasn't been a really strong and accountable measurement solution. MMM is widely used, but not, I would say there are certainly issues. It's not a perfect solve. And, you have a lot of different hot takes and opinions on MMM in particular. I think Amazon has the opportunity to get really near perfect full funnel metrics. Nearly everyone is an Amazon user. It is a persistent login. They own their properties so that they get really high match rates. And so full funnel is something we all believe in as consumers, as marketers, but they are able to connect that consumer through that entire experience. And frankly, at Flywheel, we are champing at the bit for that because we are pushing things like return on consumer. And so the more that they get that persistent consumer view across every single touch point and how they're interacting with brands, also the sales component and what they're ultimately buying and converting on at the end of the day. So being able to not only run in that manner, but report, optimize on that manner is something that I believe in Amazon. And we're certainly placing big bets at Flywheel with return on consumer being a key metric for us moving forward.
For sure. And I mean, it sounds like from that product launch, it's really easy for brands to kind of get in there and start playing around. And since it is just basically natural language, you input it into the ads agent chat. And I'll be curious to see how that kind of pans out versus how you would manually build a full funnel campaign.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, I was just nerding out about full funnel, but the AI component,
Yes.
Thank you for bringing me back on track, Emma. I appreciate it.
I will take that's my job, but I will take all the insights. But yes.
Yes.
Build me a full funnel campaign. How will that compare to?
Yeah. So obviously, AI, everything. If you're a small brand, I think, and a small agency and things like that, it makes a ton of sense. You're taking more natural language and not only like running the campaigns like, hey, I want to go drive incremental sales. Like, how am I going to do that in more natural language? But even like then better pulling the data through AMC and a lot of the updates they're making there. So just making everything from full funnel planning to pulling the measurement and reporting more accessible to literally anyone. I think as you become a more mature brand or a more mature agency, a lot of those people are also building their own agents for a lot of the same activities. We're obviously doing that at Flywheel. We have Omni AI and we're building agents. I think where we're going to see a lot of, and there were not as much at unBoxed, but Amazon has also been making announcements on MCP. And I think agent to agent communication is going to be something that we're going to hear more and more about throughout the 2026 year, especially as we have at Flywheel our best practices. We run the most retail media in the industry, and so we have a ridiculous amount of data. We also have data that goes beyond Amazon. Amazon's agents are incredible. Amazon has more data than anyone. Their agents are specific to Amazon in those learnings, and so I think that's where that agent-to-agent communication comes really in handy, where we can share best practices, certain audiences, ways to approach it from everywhere else, connect that into the Amazon agent to then ultimately run the best full funnel campaigns that are comprehensive of the entire ecosystem.
Narrator Emma here, popping in to help streamline how I ask this question in real life. You're welcome. The last launch I wanted Mike's thoughts on was AMC Skills for Ads Agent. Obviously, the democratization of access to data and AMC insights is beneficial to everyone. Every advertiser should want to be digging in to understand what's going on. But if it gets easier and easier for everyone to run these queries and build audiences within AMC, what becomes our role as an advertising partner, i.e. Flywheel, who have so far dedicated so much time to mastering AMC?
I think that is it's a real thought and a real implication. And you had asked me earlier about like, what are all the brands saying and people saying? And there's always the joke that like, hey, we're putting ourselves out of jobs.
Yeah.
I've been working with Amazon for, again, 12, 13 years with Amazon advertising. And I think my very first meeting, they were like, our job at the end of the day is to put ourselves out of jobs. I think that's why Amazon and this event is so special, because they are not just resting on their laurels. Amazon is by far and away the leader in retail media, but they are continuously pushing what retail media should be and what the expectations are.
Yeah.
I value that the most. And so as I relate that to, Flywheel, like we are the leaders in AMC, and not by a little bit. We use the most AMC by a factor of 6 compared to anyone else. So like of anyone out there, Flywheel is using AMC and nerding out and going oceans deep into AMC. So yeah, it's a scary prospect where like, hey, maybe we, aren't helping clients as much. And for the most part, like we have lots of great SQL queries in our entire library, and a lot of that becomes more accessible. But I think disruption is the only constant. And so, that's one of a million things that we're doing here at Flywheel. And I think there's one to like pull the data. It's another to understand it, apply it, use that as an optimization lever. And frankly, like with better accessibility there's already a ridiculous amount of data. I would argue maybe too much data in AMC. And so I do think that's where we will continue to have an edge is being that strategic consultant. What are you pulling? Why are you pulling it? What are you going to go do with the data? Or if it's bad, what do you go do next? If it's good, what do you go do next? And I think that's the human element and the factor that becomes really important. Like, great, we have all the information, but you got to go do something with it.
For sure. And then I was thinking about like, sure, I can go build up this, I can ask it to build me up this custom audience, but that's one audience that accomplishes one goal for one product and like one stage of the funnel. And if I'm a major brand, I have a bazillion more products and campaigns to build. And so, but yeah, it was just something I was thinking about as I was listening to people, and I was like, this is going to be an interesting interview.
As someone that does not know SQL but uses AMC data a lot, I am thrilled because I don't have to call in a bunch of favors from people anymore to go pull data. So I am personally excited as much as it causes disruption.
For sure. And I mean, it takes initiative for people to actually go in there. And even if it's the easiest thing ever for people to truly go in and pull the things out. But I was in a breakout session about AMC and they just asked how many people in the room are using it. And like only half the room raised their hands. And I was like, and then someone asked like, who uses the retail purchase data set? And like 2 hands went up and there's hundreds of people in there. And I was like,
that's like crazy.
What do you mean? I know I think it's expensive, but like, what do you mean? You can afford it. What do you mean?
It's really not that expensive.
Okay, then there was no excuse for only 2 hands to go up. Okay, with that, I will let you carry on your day. Thank you so much for your insights, unless you have any other things that you're just dying to scream into a microphone.
No, I just was excited to talk with you, Emma.
Yes. All right, thank you.
And that wraps up our unboxed recap episode. I hope we've delivered what you were looking for on our end, and that anyone that didn't attend feels like they just got 2 days worth of content in 20 minutes. A massive thank you to Mike for his first Commerce Collective podcast appearance and for helping all of us dig through which launches from the event are the most exciting. If you haven't already listened to our episode featuring Paula Despins from Amazon Ads, go back in the feed and do that too to understand a little bit more about the AMC Skills for Ads agent. I've been your host, and we'll see you next time.